Hi, folks. I thought I was going to be done, but then somebody asked me to do this, and I said, "Sure, I'll be glad to come on here for 3:30 and share some numbers with you and try to make sense of what we saw today." Chuck, are you here? Okay. Uh, John, why don't you pick up this part if you don't mind?
Sure. Yeah, we are live on YouTube. So the actual YouTube channel is, we try to make it easy for you to get there on a regular basis. It's dtitrader.com/YouTube. Just posted it into the channel, dtitrader.com/YouTube. It'll really help us out if you go there and subscribe, click the bell to subscribe. And then every time we're live, or if you're watching a replay, if you could like the video, and if you post a comment too, if you like what you hear, you can post a comment. That helps as well as far as growing the word of DTI. So let me grab the live video link real quick and I'll post it into the channel here. Give me just a second. For the DTI. So let me grab the live. Okay, there's the live stream. If you want to hop over and watch on YouTube, or just hop over there, give us a like and come on back to Zoom. But we'll move on forward for now. We've got a flash meeting. This is the first flash meeting we've had in quite a while. So that's very important, because when the market picks up its volatility like this, you need to know that Tom's going to be in front of you. We're going to be in front of you. So here we are at flash meeting March 23rd.
Yeah, this is something I've done for years. Because a market like today, things can get out of hand, and you just got to, I guess what I would say, you got to digest it. Digest it.
Before we get going, there is risk involved in trading, of course. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. I'm going to post the slides for this afternoon in the chat right now. And we also are moments away really from releasing our weekly trade letter, which goes out Monday after the close. Since we are live working into the close, it might take me a few more minutes to get that published for everybody. So, but I'd say about 4:30 this afternoon, we'll have it released.
And it's pretty interesting. Jonathan and I went on and did it. And I said, Jonathan, just like we did on Sunday night, we gave both like a two-way street. This letter is probably the first time we've done that this year also. So a little special there.
Definitely. Something tells me Tuesday power plays this week will have a mixture of plays as well.
All right, this is my opinion. I'm never, basketball. I'm not a big fan of basketball, but basketball has the start of a game. It's called a jump ball. Okay, and that's sort of the way I see the market right now. Is that we're sort of balanced both ways, even after the big rally, which is sort of a way of looking at it. You've got a market that, and I'll just use the QQQ as the example, opened today at 590, and we're at 590 right now. So it's a jump ball. And I think one of the things that's a little deceiving is just how both sides right here are fighting a battle, and that trend that should emerge from this should be a good one. And I've got a few numbers that help you digest it before we meet again. That's my opinion. Now, news. Somebody said, Tom, why do you trade futures? I said, news. They said, what do you mean news? I said, one of the big issues I have with stocks and options is being able to get out of those or be able to cut my risk down. And that news can happen at any time around the globe. This morning, news came out about 7 o'clock, and the market at that time was headed a lot lower. We were down about 2% which is huge to be down that far. And then the news came out. Once the news was published, it took off. The algorithms kicked in. In a matter, as Chuck pointed out, in a matter of a few minutes, we went from way negative to way positive. We hit a high. Need to note the high was 67.50. Write that number down. And the low we hit before that was 64.83. So that sort of frames what I would call the day. And we spent most of the day, no follow through after the news. It's been mostly one of these churn and burns. They get you in, burn you, get you out, get in, out, all that. And so it's a kind of market that I always tell people, do your very best not to trade that type market. And I think that's good advice, because you could have thought the market was going higher, you thought the market was going lower. In both cases, there hadn't been that real trade. Now, a scalp trade, yes, but I'm talking about a real trend after we open up today. And I think that's the news element of what we saw. And news can happen anytime. One thing I made a commitment many years ago, I would never be trapped because I couldn't get out of a market if I had risk on the table. And I had risk on the table from Friday to today. And you can offset news by using the futures market. That's one reason I'm a big advocate of the futures market. Let me just ask a question before I go further. How many of you have a futures account? Just to type yes in there if you got one, a futures account, or the ability to trade futures. Wendy does, good, yeah. So if you catch news that was just 180-degree out for the way the trend is, you can always go to the futures market and hedge yourself by going long, okay? Those are the kind of things that you can do when you have days like today. And it'll happen again, folks, many times, okay? I think that is something good. Now, if we look at the RBs today, let's talk about the RB, okay? Jonathan, where are you coming from? RB1 right there, right?
Yeah, the blue, I'll just circle it RB1, or I'll point to RB1 right here.
Yeah.
That's not.
So RB1, it trended down all night, which was way down, if you remember, from how we closed Friday. We closed Friday at 65.88, I think. And we were down there in the 6,400, about 80 points down as the market started. Tried to rally. Spent all night trending lower. And then you got to 7 o'clock this morning, and you had that news bar right there. And that defines the whole day if you look at it, okay? And you can see it right there play out. Notice it's sort of tilting over to the downside a little bit, just to point that out. With what we're looking at, okay? And I think that's important. So I would write this number down. Judging today's action, I would use 66.15 as a pivot number until I post one tomorrow. 66.15. I'd write that number down and I would use it. All right, let's go to the NASDAQ.
Yeah, we'll go. I'm going to bring up a live market now.
Okay.
And I'll go full screen here on the 30-minute chart. Trade day starts right here.
And Jonathan, given the midpoint of that range in the NASDAQ today.
So the daily midpoint is 24,267.
Yeah, I would use 24,250 as your pivot number for tomorrow. 24,250. I'm writing it down myself. Okay. And this is stuff I would do after the close, but we're doing it together today. All right, how about the Dow? What I'm looking for, because of the day we had, I'm trying to see where that balance point is in the market tonight, okay?
For the Dow, the midpoint of the day is 46,331. 46,331.
Okay, 46,331.
What you want
All
next?
right, go to crude oil. Now I'm going to tell you the number I'm using, and I don't know where the midpoint is, but the number I'm using is 88.15. How did I get that number? Through observation and watching this thing like a hawk all day. 88.15. In other words, if we're above 88.15, that brings bearishness into the market above 88.15. Below 88.15 brings bullishness in. Okay, that's the number I'm using going into tomorrow. 88.15. That's worth a lot of money to you. Okay, 88.15. Know what to do with it. Okay, let's go to gold. Now, gold, it won't show on Jonathan's chart, I don't think, unless it might. But gold, yeah, he's got gold futures. Look where gold was at 3 o'clock this morning. So unlike the indexes, gold fell out of bed. It hit its low, what was it, 41.19?
4,100 even is what I got.
Yeah, 4,100 even. And I mean, that is just shocking to people in gold for it to be there. Okay. So, Jonathan, what's the midpoint of gold?
4,300 or 4,318 to be more exact.
43.18. Oh, let's do silver the same way. This was shocking to me when I saw it. Woke up this morning.
Silver made a low of 61.25 overnight. And the midpoint is 66.15.
66.15.
Yeah.
Okay. There's your midpoint. Those are the pivot numbers I'd use for those markets going into tomorrow. Okay. Let's do bonds.
Bonds. They have a high, they have 113.16. They have a low of 111.25. The midpoint is 112.21.
112.21. Okay. That's bonds. All right. Let's use NVIDIA next. This is something that, I was short NVIDIA, but I had a call to correct me, and you could get out of NVIDIA in the middle of the night. I got out around 172 out of my short position. And then as the rally happened, I got out of the call. I was long that expired today. So it was a double win for me on NVIDIA. But what was the high and low of NVIDIA?
The cash market high today, 178.34. And the cash market low was 174.76.
174.76. And the high was what? 170 what?
178.34.
Gives you a midpoint of what?
You can essentially call it 176.5, right where we're trading.
Jump ball. Okay. Micron, MU, high and low, same thing.
For Micron, the cash market high was 430 and the cash market low was 401.5. This does not look to be factoring in. Looks like it's factoring in yesterday's market too for the midpoint. Let me do the numbers myself because
about 415 for micro.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 415. Yeah.
All right, let's do USO.
USO.
Remember, this was at 122.5 last night. In fact, USO was holding very strong at 122.5.
The high today on USO is 114.5.
Okay. That's cash high.
Yep, cash high, cash low 106.5.
Okay, so the midpoint there would be about 110, wouldn't it? About right where we're trading. Jump ball. Okay, QQQ.
The cash market high today on QQQ was 595. And the cash market low was 586. 590.5 is the midpoint.
Jump ball. Okay. The SPY.
For the SPY, we got a high today, cash market 662.60. Cash market low 653.95. Call it 654. And the midpoint for the day is 658.25, you can call it.
Okay. Now, the stock that I traded last night when gold was falling was a stock called Dust. First time I ever traded it. What's its high and low?
Dust. For Dust, we've got cash market high of 67.84. A cash market low of 61.35.
Midpoint.
64.59, so 64.5.
Jump ball. All right, let's do GDX as this offsets Dust. High and low.
Cash market high just shy of 85, so call it 85. And you can call the cash market low 81.15. So $83, more or less, is about where 83.
Yeah, and so if you look at these where we are, if you look at these numbers, you say to yourself, what? We're right around the mid area, okay? Anyway, I just wanted to go through those numbers because they will be good numbers tonight. Of course, tomorrow I always have new ones, but these are the numbers and how you handle what you're seeing, okay? Everybody can see it, okay? That's I think that's important.
I'm getting these numbers added to the slide deck so that it's easier to keep track of as we go into tomorrow. So there's just a few that I had on the template for slides that I'll just update real quick. 176.5 NVIDIA, Palantir, 157, GLD, 407, SLV, 62.5. I think that'll cover it. Let's go back to the slides, Tom.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, here's where they pick up. This is slide number 9. All right, I'll try to get a smaller text posting on a summary of everything for everybody in just a minute, but you can cycle through them page by page if you'd rather do that. And again, I'll get a summary on the last slide here. But here, let me try to do that real quick. And in the meantime, we can go ahead and move on, Tom, anytime you want.
Yeah, we can move. Okay, let's talk really, if we can, about what we have coming up. We can't take any more people in April. It's sold out. We had a couple of customers that got in at the last minute, and we're going to have a huge class here in April. And I want to give everybody early notice because July will go a lot faster. We already got, I think we got 2 to 3 slots already taken for July. Does everybody know when I talk about the small class face-to-face, the power of that? Y'all know, has anybody ever heard me talk about the small class? Okay. Well, a small class is held here at the Country Club facility here in Florida, south of TPC. And We only have 5 seats left in the July small class. You got the dates of that, Jonathan?
Yeah, 20th and 21st of July.
Okay, write that down because that'll be the only time we meet in a small class. I think it's until September at the earliest, but we're doing it this way because we have to do some planning, and you have to do planning if you want one of those seats. So the question you ought to ask yourself, should you attend a small class here in Jacksonville? Well, of course, I'm biased because I teach it, but also bring the rest of the team in, and they'll be here to help me teach it. We got instructors to make sure there's a lot of things that you're set up right, on your computer right now. You don't know what we can show you in a period of 2 days. And there's 5 educational points are covered in every class. Let's talk about that. We always trade live in person. So trading live in person gives you the ability to see all these numbers in play, where you can see how we use them and how we exercise the profits that we make. We've got a pretty good track record, lifetime and in person. Last year, I would guess most of our live trades that we did were pretty much right on and perfect. Most people, if they took those trades, probably paid for their class, okay? And the question David said, he's been to a couple of small classes, he said, what I should be asking, who wants to become a profitable trader? And you can give me a yes, that's a great question, Dave. Who wants to become a profitable trader? It's all about you. Who wants to become a profitable trader? That's a great question. Now, we help you set up your brokerage account the way it should be for faster entries and exits. I bet you, out of people been with me years, they don't have their account set up correctly for order entry, order exit. How much money that saves you over the course of a year, it's just hard to put a price on it. But I will look at it and give you the setup that I'm using, and you can use it too. And I think the setup I got through trial and practice works like a charm. I can be in a trade or out of trade just like that. And then I'll show you some techniques there. But we help you get that set up. Brokerage firms don't do that. They get your account, get your money. We go inside that brokerage account to help you be set up correctly. The steps it takes to make one of our trades versus the steps you're making right now, maybe a 5 to 2 step. 5 if you do it the way you're doing it, and 2 steps the way we do it. You also learn at the small class the time of week and time of day are so critical to everything you do here. And we prove that out because you see it in person. I think you'd be shocked to know how you always hear me say patience pays. Well, you get to see it in real time, how it pays when I'm with people. The tape read the different markets and why key number is important. I told you, I gave you a number on crude oil today, 88.15. Right now we're 88.80. What has happened since that we got above 88.15? Anybody know, looking at the market, what has happened? So if you follow what we're saying, the market should have went down. And if you go look at E-mini, it's at 66.36. How can you use that information? Well, here at the end of the day, if it's negative, you could go in and maybe sell a credit call spread or do something like that and make money. We'll show you how that works in real time. But you'll be able to tape read the market from key numbers using our technique. Got it to an art form, I'd like to say, an art form. Now I work directly to you to better learn your goals and how you have those set for yourself and really tell you if it's realistic what you're trying to do with the amount of money you got. But what we do and what you leave with is a personal plan to help you reach those goals. And here's the beautiful part. You just come one time, right? And you're face to face. Once you come face to face, I put a face to the name and I'm able to help you throughout the year if you need help. That's the beautiful thing about it. Trade at live market both days. We don't sit there. I can't sit there for 2 days without trading. So we're going to trade. You got your brokerage account set up correctly, fully trimmed out. It'd be like if you're going into a World Series game, you're going to have everything done where you're doing the best you can be every day. And that's what that'll do for you. The DTI method, time of day and time of week. We show you why that's important and why you should understand it. The DTI method, pillar 2, using those key numbers I gave you today and making money off those key numbers. Now, I gave you a bunch of key numbers. Experienced students that have been with me one-on-one know how valuable that is in their decision-making process. If you haven't been face-to-face, probably won't have the same degree of success with it as other people. And that personal plan. Todd's a 15-year student, been with me many times, and he just said, if you really want to learn to trade, you should go to a small class. Came to my first 2 futures classes, and I leave no one behind. This is a nice place we have. The food is worth coming for. Outstanding. And I think that when you're there, we'll be in that downstairs room, beautiful site, beautiful golf course, beautiful location. Put you in the right kind of mood. Everybody needs a mood change every now and then. We have great food on Monday night. We always try to get pictures with you where we can, like I said, put a name and everything to you. That's that background I'm talking about. Roger said the best. He's a doctor out of Texas, become a good friend of mine. He's been to several classes, but his total results, what he thought he was going to do, what he read about, was totally different than the way he trades today. He comes back every now and then for maintenance because he knows how valuable it is. Now, here's the bonus of attending. You've heard me talk about futures. We charge $1,500 for our online futures class. Well, guess what? If you sign up for this class, that's included already in your price. Now, if you already have a futures subscription, we just add a year to it. So if you do not have our Futures Plus education, there's a way to get it. You get a full year for free inside the price you pay to come. Can't beat that. Now, this is a beautiful thing about the July class. I ask this question every year. That's when I have it. How many people would like to have the exact portfolio that I have for the last half of the year? Well, guess what? People that attend the July class will have that because we'll take advantage of goals to make it happen for you. By that time, we ought to have a good market and one that makes you proud to be part of that portfolio that we teach you about. The class is $5,000, includes 1 year of futures education. So think of it this way, about 3,500 plus the futures, good stuff. Sign up, take one of those spots. We only got, I think, 4 left or 5. DTItrader.com/July futures or call 904-706-3532. Now, here's the beautiful thing about it. If you sign up, you'll get to come to my 6 o'clock class tonight, and it won't even count towards your year yet because what I do, if you are coming in July, you'll get all that added on to your subscription. So your actual year will start in July because I want you to be trained to use all this stuff. But how about that for a big bonus for signing up today? Get signed up right now, please, because we got to make sure this class is sold out. And what a perfect time to have it in July. Jonathan, did I leave anything out?
You covered everything, Tom. And I noticed that Kelly Barber and Jeffrey Andraka are here right now. So post your name and your phone number if you'd like a call this afternoon. If they have time, they're going to call you.
Yeah, and look, if you will talk to them, they will work with you to make sure that you can be part of this. So that's the beautiful thing. Put your name, phone number, email in here, and they will talk to you where you will be able to maybe pay that over a couple months if you want to or whatever. But the beautiful thing is you start your training tonight at 6 o'clock. Can't be more fair than that. All right, I wanted to do this. Our newsletter's coming out. Carol will be back in June and loves, obviously, the face-to-face trimming. Anybody got any questions? I wanted to take time and cover it. What a time to cover this stuff, because opportunity is knowing what to do with what you see. All right, put your name and email in here and talk to one of them. They'll call you and y'all can get it worked out. Jonathan, I think that's all I can do. We got about 4 or 5 slots that they can take. We'll get it sold out. And then those that wait won't have one, okay? And they always are filled up, these classes. So procrastination is not an option. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, there you go. See everybody in Futures Training at 6 o'clock. Y'all have a great day. Tomorrow's Trade Day, Tuesday. We'll be ready to go. Thanks, Jonathan. I don't know if you recorded this. You might want to replay it.
Yeah, we can do that. I'll cue that up in just a moment.